Turning now to an excitable bird many families know well. In 2003, author Mo Willems debuted the pigeon in Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. It later starred in an animated TV version of the book. Take a look.
Hey, can I drive the bus?
No!
Please? I'll be careful.
Since that first book, the pigeon has taken flight in 7 other adventures. The book has sold more than 6 million copies in North America alone. Now, there's a 20th anniversary edition of the award-winning Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus that comes with a special board game. Willems is also out with Be the Bus, the lost and profound wisdom of the pigeon, his first humor book for adults. Mo Willems joins us right now. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very happy to be here.
Of course. So what made you make that turn from going from a kid's book to an adult book?
That is an interesting question. You know, the pigeon just discovered that he's in books for 20 years, and he's never gotten to do it.
I love the idea that we're talking about the pigeon.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so then the pigeon discovered not only that he was in books, but that people were laughing at him while he wasn't getting to drive the bus or eat the cookie or finish the hot dog. So he decided to write his own book. So for Be the Bus, I'm just the translator.
I got you.
Of the pigeon's wisdoms.
Pigeon gives a lot of great advice in that for all of us. But let me read, going back to the original, the kids' version, when you first created the pigeon back in 2003, the words used to describe him: crafty, frustrated, a conniver, a coy conniver. Why do you think readers, young and old, though, have embraced this crazy yelling pigeon?
I don't know. I think what I try to do is I always think of my audience, but I never think for my audience.
Yeah.
So I made sure that the pigeon was simple enough for a 5-year-old to be able to draw, so that they, instead of just reading the books, are playing the books. You know, a book should be a spark to creativity. It should be an opportunity to say, I could do that. Right. Or what would it be like if I did that? Or how can I create my own narrative? So all of these books are really formats. Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Blank. Oh, I could come up with a version of that. And then kids are authors and illustrators at the same time.
But it took how many rejections before you got to the point where the pigeon became a famous celebrity pigeon that we now know?
I tend to exaggerate, so I'm going to cut the number in half. We went to 43 billion publishers.
Okay.
And they all said the same thing.
43 billion.
43 billion. Yeah. And they all said the same thing: it's unusual. And then there was one publisher who said, it's unusual, but unusual is not a pejorative. So I got the same reaction from the rejections as I got from the acceptance.
Mo, one of the things, I don't know if you're aware of this, but some scientists have actually done studies, and they used your pigeon as the basis for the study, saying, yes, let the pigeon drive the bus, because they've discovered that pigeons can figure out the shortest route to any location.
I actually did know that, which is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, although I think the question of insurance hasn't quite been figured out by those scientists. Once they get that, I think we're set.
Some of the pigeon's advice and wisdom in the adult version, Be the Bus, is, a little bit questionable. It's better to say, I love you more than ever, of course, rather than say, I used to love you less.
Yes.
So what have you learned? I mean, that seems like a given, but what have you learned from the pigeon himself?
I think the great thing for me in my experience of the pigeon has been watching kids create their own narratives and seeing what matters to them. You know, early on, I got a version of it from the kid called Don't Let the Pigeon Operate the Catapults, which I just loved, you know?
Yeah.
And again, for me, I am more excited about what happens after the book is done. These kids are drawing, and they're drawing with their parents, and they're creating together. So to be able to be a spark and be part of that pretty intimate thing, it's bedtime story, all of that. To be part of that experience is, it's incredibly fulfilling.
I think you were going to put me to the test this morning.
Yes.
Speaking of, everybody can do this.
That's right. I want to see you, Natalie.
Okay.
Also, your wife is here taking pictures, and I hope you don't use that line, I used to love you less.
No,
While Natalie is
these lessons are hard won. Let me just put it that way. These lessons are very, very hard won.
I think she's the one dictating the lessons to you. too, right?
All right, so
Absolutely.
what do we got here with this doodle list?
All right,
Okay.
so I'm often asked, how do I get my kids to be creative? How do I get my kids to draw? And the answer is, you draw, you be creative. Because as a parent, you forget how cool you are. So we have a little game.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mo.
Right?
Thanks for
Okay.
saying
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
So one of the fun things is that to do things together. So I'm going to get you to make just a random mark.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and turn that into a drawing. So you're going to
You're going to make art out of my
you're gonna
mark.
make
Good
a-
luck.
what
I love
call
you,
a
Mo. It's been
snillum.
nice
Here we
knowing
go.
you.
Here we go.
Okay.
Go, Natalie.
Doesn't matter.
See what you got,
All good.
Natalie.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey.
Like an amoeba.
Modern art masterpiece
All right.
Yes. There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Like an
Now,
It does look like
all right. So now I
Picasso would be
got
proud.
to turn that into a drawing. Let's
This is
see.
why we love you, Mo. You
Here
can
we
make
go.
everything.
So
something.
creative.
There
Oh,
we
this
go.
is fantastic.
And we got a
It's
little.
like I planned that.
It's like a little
Right?
froggy dinosaur.
Oh!
And would he be yelling, Mo? What would
Yeah,
he
right.
be
Absolutely.
saying?
He would be saying,
Let me drive the
"Yay,
bus."
Mornings. which is-
Yay!
This is not my favorite time of day, just to let you guys know.
That is
That's
amazing.
why I like mornings.
See, instead of dropping the mic,
so
just
much.
drop the pen.
There
Can you
we
put a
go.
little
There it
spirit
is.
I'm gonna drop that too, because that was pretty good
Mo
on my
Willems,
part.
thank you so much. We appreciate
great.
you.
Really great
And
to
the
be
20th
here.
anniversary edition of Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus and the brand new book, Be the Bus, they go on sale tomorrow. Right now, though, time for a check of your local weather.